Hey, how's it going in this video? I would like to talk about BlackRock and what that company does. BlackRock is an American multinational financial service company that is one of the world's largest and most prominent asset management firms. It was founded in 1988 and it's headquartered in New York City. The company primarily focuses on investment management, which is good, and it provides a wide range of financial products, which is also good. And services to institutional and individual investors, including mutual funds, exchange traded funds, ETFs, and hedge funds, and more. So, in other words, the BlackRock itself, I have believed that I have read a number of books on the investment and overall about some of the people who are associated with the BlackRock. But I need to take a look at history, some of the books that I have read, and perhaps some of those books are very good books. That's one of the reasons why I would like to look back to, and perhaps it would be worth revisiting and sharing some information with people who are interested. Uh, Overall, BlackRock has achieved so many things for a reason, right? Whatever that reason, whatever actions, whatever objectives they were trying to achieve, whatever it would require of them to achieve those objectives and how they did it. I don't know how many of you are following the newspapers and everything what's happening. What I'm saying, how they did, interesting. What they're doing, perhaps there are opportunities up there for other people to get involved as well. But either way, overall, not necessarily agree with everything, all the methods, what they are doing. Perhaps they have so many different tools in the toolkit, right? To achieve exceed 9 trillion of dollars management of assets. What would that require? What kind of actions you as an organization need to take to achieve that? Do you need? Well, I'm trying to understand what industry I need to get into. What actions will be required to get this kind of portfolio to be able to manage, right? Let's take a look at some of the key information about BlackRock, and that information potentially, depending on when you are watching this video, right? So all the numbers, I'm not entirely sure if I'm looking at accurate numbers, as well as there is particular information depending on when you're watching this video, perhaps worth mentioning that some of the numbers or details might be different, right? If I can, I rather stick with factual information, even assessing perhaps all entire portfolio. There are different articles that would say 8 trillion. Some information that I was able to find would be 9 trillion, as well as adjusted to inflation, buying power of dollar. Perhaps that's falling out. Who would like to have some of the real estate in New York, right? So perhaps people who are living in New York, some of the business there, but it's not that interesting perhaps for other people, right? So building within UK perhaps can cost to put things into perspective, right? Think about a building within somewhere in UK might cost 100,000, right? But BlackRock can say that that building is worth 1 trillion. Building in New York skyscraper might cost 1 trillion. No one wants to buy it, but that's how much it can cost, right? So it put the things into perspective, right? So how we're getting those numbers, how we're arriving at those figures, perhaps is worth taking a look at that information as well. If you are doing your own research, trying to understand, since there are a lot of information up there with the recent presidency and all the politics and everything, how those people are, especially evaluating property, how they are arriving at that figure. If someone is willing to lend a lot of money for that property, so that's evaluation of that property comes into play, as well as how many people would like to buy it. So it's the supply and demand, or they would take numbers of people who bought the property within the same region, and that's determine what that property is worth. Again, all the numbers are can be anything, right? 9 trillion, 5 billion, it can be anything. So, since we acknowledge about assets and how much worth it can be, either way, businesses, assets control, so depending on the factors that you like to assess in organizations of that, if anything, one of the top organizations, perhaps that's fair evaluation of the organization. One of the top organizations out there would be BlackRock, right? If anyone who is interested, I will be sharing some information about some of the books that I have read. I believe that would be somewhat associated with BlackRock and the way how investing and perhaps if anything decision making, and it's something that I like to stick to. Strategy decision making is something that's very valuable. So I would put a lot of myself, not necessarily on real estate in New York. I can't put that much value on that. I can put a lot of value on decision making, and if there are a lot of smart people making smart decisions, I can put a lot of value on that. Assets under management. Perhaps, as I mentioned here before, I don't know if that's an accurate number as well as how they assess that. Is that business, real estate, perhaps a number of different things. 9 trillion in total currently, but again, different articles said that they're sharing different information. Or 8, so someone's sharing perhaps even larger than that. It manages investments of behalf of a wide range of clients, including pension funds and endowments, foundations, governments, and individual investors. So overall, they do seems to have a lot of assets under management. iShares, BlackRock is a major player in ETF markets throughout its iShares brands, offering a comprehensive range of ETFs covering various asset classes and investment strategies. Global reach, a company has global presence with offices and operations in numerous countries, making it one of the most significant and influential players in the global financial industry. If I'm just wondering, right, if some companies of that would be affected by a lot of other governments removing themselves from dollar, right? So they're moving away from that. Perhaps even that can be affect the number of how much printed paper they have and all those assets and value, right? Because so some person can say they do have a lot of money, but no one's interested in that money. Even that can be affected. Myself, I'm placing more value on perhaps some of the strategies, the way how people are thinking, the way how they're solving problems. Something that I'm putting a lot of value on that. Aladdin, BlackRock has developed its proprietary risk management and investment platform called Aladdin. Interesting. That has something to do with Middle East. Strange name. Which is used both for managing its own investments and providing technology and risk management solutions for other financial institutions. I need to understand a little bit better something about myself. I'm interested, perhaps, in some of the projects I can understand a lot of value that some of those platforms can offer to a number of or groups of people up there. I can understand that, so perhaps there's some value there. But again, how much value? 5 million? So that platform can, how many trillion cost this value in dollars? Well, let's put 5 trillion just for this platform, right? There are some names that I don't want to mention, but some of the currently people who are managing this organization that I'm covering within this video. Perhaps worth covering those people as well. I don't know those people. I do know some people up there. I have done a lot of research with a number of investor people. I do understand I have read every single book that some of the people have published within that space when it comes to investment. I read every single book. I've been trying to find some information just now today. I don't know this person who is managing this organization right now, as well as I don't think that I was able to find any information about this person, about his decision making, as well as how he runs his company, his investment strategies. I don't know nothing. I couldn't find any book, anything, so I don't know nothing about this person. So I'm not here to promote anyone since I don't know this person, right? So there are other investors who have published a lot of work about how they're doing, how they come up with strategies, the way how they're making decisions, everything. So I can share some information, but not about this particular person. Social responsibility. BlackRock has been increasingly focused on environment, social, and governance ESG investing, and it has integrated sustainability and responsibility investing principles into its investment strategies. This is what perhaps they are trying to do. I'm not entirely sure if it's been on the forefront of some of the investment strategies uh, that people offering there. I need to understand a little bit better, right? So I need to understand some of these topics a little bit better before perhaps it should be, if anything, any takeaways. All the investing and the way how I have done a lot of research to understand that some of the companies out there, once fell, I understand even perhaps government funds that the governments will have surplus, and the way how they allocating those funds that they have, that some of those funds would come from oil, and how they allocating that fund to support some of the businesses. So, part of those strategies of the government funds, I understand those since I've done a lot of research to understand it, that they have social responsibilities there. So but I don't know nothing what what information I'm reading right now. Corporate governance. BlackRock is also a significant shareholder in many other world's largest public traded companies, such as it plays a role in influencing corporate governance and policies throughout the proxy, voting, and engagement efforts. That's a part of the strategy. I don't know if this information is correct, but yeah, perhaps it's a part of the strategy how they are managing different organizations. Regulatory scrutiny. Due to its size and influence in the financial industry, BlackRock has faced regulatory scrutiny at times, especially in areas related to its potential impact on financial markets and its role as systematically important institution. I can understand, yeah, based on size. I'm not necessarily agree with that myself, because those people who have built such a large organization as BlackRock, they had a lot of obstacles to overcome, even to becoming such a big organization, and some of the governments going after them. So I'm not necessarily agree with that. For people out there who are interested in learning more, I have published a book, Raise Impact. There's going to be a series of books so that I'm looking to release. In this particular book, I'm sharing a lot of information on where to begin and where to start your livestock enterprise. I'm sharing a lot of information where to begin, then reaching first milestone. That would be working from zero to $10,000, euros, pounds, whatever case might be, and how to achieve this milestone. In this book, I'm sharing a lot of information, and if anything, there's a lot of value in perhaps learning from other people, as well as perhaps making your own mistakes might be important. Perhaps you can save a lot of money when investing into starting or setting up different organizations there. One of those organizations might be a livestock enterprise, how you can potentially save a lot of money. So there's a lot of information there where you can save a lot of money by making smart decisions with your money and investing in what kind of equipment, how to set everything up. You can find it in the description below, as well as top retailers has it. For people out there who are looking to do research to understand a little bit of the markets, if anything, investing and how money works, there are some top organizations out there who definitely, or people out there, not necessarily organizations themselves, that you can learn a lot from. So, if anything, I would highly recommend to do a little bit of research, as well as I'm going to be is sharing some information in my later videos about some of the books that I read. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.